couple more questions. She's been standing up for a while. Go ahead.
Thank you for your expert opinion, advice. So I have a question. Are they required to tell us, since it's dispersed through the school day, what days the test, since it's not a whole day like the CMTs and everything else is?
They have to tell you, yes.
They have to tell us in like how far advance notice will we get?
Doesn't matter. You can ask them yesterday. They should give you that information.
But are they going to tell us if we don't ask? Are they required to?
No, they're not gonna.
They're going to flip it through you. You have to ask.
So you can opt out by keeping your kid home that day?
Here's the
Not keep your child home because they will consider that as a retake. They will make your child do a retake. As far as someone mentioned before, these kids staying home. No. They're not going to stay home. You're the teacher, you're the administrator. You're going to find something for my children to do in the school system, and they're going to learn. They are not going to miss out on education just because of a stupid test.
They can only miss 12 days, then they send,
Then they send in the, yes.
and there's more than 12 days worth of testing.
And that's how they'll get you. If you miss more than 10, or if in my school it's more than 10. If you miss more than 10, they send home a truant letter, and then they sit the psychologist on you, and then you're in like so much crap.
That's why we need an Ethan's Law. It's not about staying home, it's about going to school and being educated. That's what the law's about. Teaching me something. That's what that law's about. You don't have to miss 9. You don't have to miss testing. People have been either preparing, practicing, or taking the test for anywhere from 4 to 13 weeks in this state. We want to know why our kids are having so much trouble. They're not being taught. Testing is not teaching.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what Deborah's been saying. She was talking about that education, or regulated education, is not a enumerated power granted to the federal government, either the legislative or executive branches of government. Well, I've looked through the Connecticut Constitution, specifically I think it's Article 3rd, which is the legislative branch. There's no enumerated power to regulate education on the state level, which means that's a power reserved to the people through their municipal governments. So even under the color statute law, whatever 2 statute laws you cited, that's unconstitutional because they have no enumerated
Well,
power.
there has been authority on it. There's another part of the Constitution that says there shall be a public school fund. So that's part of the Constitution to set up a fund specifically for public schools. So that's number 1. And then there's another home rule section that really doesn't apply. And then there's been case law. The Connecticut Supreme Court has adopted case law interpreting what the duty of the state is. And the state has, under Horton versus Maskell, under Shepherds and O'Neill, and a bunch of other cases, the state has an affirmative obligation to provide the ability of children to receive an appropriate education. But it does not compel the state to provide an appropriate education. It compels them to be able to have the children receive it, but the parents can refuse it if the parents want.
But they can't regulate it. They can fund it, but they can't regulate it. There's a difference there.
Well,
And also, I just want to add a couple other things. When the federal or state government violates people's unalienable rights, including education, there are U.S. codes that can fine and imprison officers of the legislative, executive, or judicial branch of the government should they do so. U.S. Code 18, sections 241 and 242, and if they violate those unalienable rights, they also can be held liable to the aggrieved party under U.S. Code 42, sections 1384, 1383, 1385, and 1386. So the people can fine them, and they don't receive the funds from the government, from the people's tax money. They receive it from the people, the officers who violate the Constitution.
the whole point is that
They do. But they could be fined and imprisoned, and they could be also held liable for violating a person's unalienable rights through those U.S. codes I just cited.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Just one more. You mentioned the statutes. Last year, Fairfield was sued the Board of Ed for a 1040 using state statutes because they brought in a math textbook unapproved by the Board of Ed using taxpayer funds. We took it all the way to Hartford, and Stephen Pryor remediated for us. But the point is, if the Board of Ed is not willing to stand by the statutes, the parents get run over. And you need to take a whole lot of strength and really rallying people around you. And parents tend not to support other parents. They had teachers come out and write letters against us. They retaliated by FOIAing all the communications between parents and the school district and districts.
And published them and sent them
They're
out.
really dirty.
They violated FERPA, but
This
there's
is
nothing you
just the
can do.
beginning. I have.
to say this one statute. It's a statute called the coercion statute. You need to know that statute.
What is it?
What is it? Coercion statute, it's a criminal statute. I should check it out. If I forget the number. But it says, yes, absolutely. But it says that if any government official tries to get you to do something that you have a legal right to do, or the reverse, by instilling in you a fear that they will take official action, that's coercion. They can go to jail for that. The problem is you need to hold them accountable in an effective way.
Here's the thing. To sum up what she's saying, and just so that all of you know, that they will, now that this is out in Connecticut, they're gonna come after us with guns blazing, no pun intended. So you really have, you really have to have thick skin and know what you're talking about and take this information and just slam them with it, because they can't. They are the ones that are not abiding the law. We are the ones trying to protect the law. So you just have to take the information that you're given and just keep firing away. Trust me, it's going to get worse and worse, and I'm sure there will be, trust me, I get criticized every day, but I tell them, thank you, you're making a stronger person.
Amy.
So, someone came up and asked me, just to reiterate, on February 28th, when Representative Fleischman is having this open hearing, we are going to try and get a rally for this event. I have to see if we can get a permit. I need to either try and get it myself or see if someone from the legislature will do it for us.
Senator Markley, call him up.
And then I have to see if we can't get that, then maybe a possible room. I had spoken to a representative earlier today who said that she could get us a room. It wouldn't be a formal hearing, but at least we're in the Capitol, we're talking about it. So keep an eye on Facebook for this.
If I'm the hearing that he's going to have it has to be open to the public. They hold them in the LOB rooms, and you can go in there and just carry signs. Or you just can be very quiet, just have your Common Core, Stop Common Core t-shirts on. It will send a huge message. That hearing that Fleischman's going to hold, I guarantee it will be on CTN. If you all are sitting in the audience and CTN catches a whole bunch of people protesting quietly, just absolutely silent, just hold signs, otherwise they'll throw you out. But don't get thrown out, just be there. And if you're in the room, you don't need a room. If you're in the room, CTN and every other station is going to start to pick it up, because they're going to see all of a sudden, even if it's only 20 to 50 people, these rooms are not
Well, then we
huge.
just show up with our t-shirts and sit there quietly. Even better.
Wear a jacket and take it off once you're in the room.
I'm telling you right now, when they see you coming in like that, Capitol Police will be there before you know it, and you will all be escorted out. I can guarantee it.
We'll figure out a way. We'll post it on Facebook. I gotta kind of this along. That's on February 28th. Patty, you want, no, you're all set? Robin? Just like the same shirt.
And if the Capitol Police do that, then the news will pick it up.
Wear your shirts and not wear signs. You can wear stickers, wear a shirt.
She's right.
Do not hide from anybody who walk in there. You own that building. They will not stop. We are there with hundreds and hundreds of gun owners with signs and shirts. They cannot stop you. They will take your signs, they will take your flags. They can't take your shirt.
Here's a good title. Take your signs and take your flags. Because you can't take your shirt. Just don't wear an undershirt.
As Jesse pointed out, I was the one person in London to opt my daughter out. It was a very simple process. I just wanted to put out my experience real quick. You can send them something as simple as an email, and then you talk to them on the phone. You say, I know the Supreme Court has the right of the parent that says you determine the education of your child. If you want to opt out your kid, you will. It trumps state law. That's what we told them. They said, okay, you're right, and we didn't hear anything else. The rest of it was figuring out logistics with your child at the school, because they are responsible for giving them an education if they're not taking the test. So that's between you and the principal and the dean and such. But as when it comes to law, you just say Supreme Court trumps it, and you can find these cases on United Opt Out, I think it's .org or .com, where they have all the documentation about why you can opt out anywhere.
Thank you.
Okay, just one quick note, not on Stop Common Core, but on the Stop Common Core in Connecticut Library on Facebook, we'll have all the files, the samples of opt-out letters, there's the letter from the state that they sent to the district explaining what they do, if you want to opt out. Anything you need to see will be on Stop Common Core in CT Library on Facebook. If you need to, you can email me at jesschong@yahoo.com. Thank you very, very much for coming today.
Teresa.